Are you ready to get set and get going with us on our exploration of the emerging future, looking at all the technologies and the trends that are going to affect us personally and our organizations and society? I want to tell you what you can expect in this MOOC. Some say the future is here, and there are so many exciting technologies, lots of issues to consider. In this MOOC, I want you to imagine the possibilities of what can come 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and beyond. I want you to be inspired by what is available, all the different things that are around. It's a gee whiz moment every time you look at something new. And what are some of the inventions that either you could do or that you think should be done? So we're going to have fun as we look and learn together. In this first week, we're going to be focusing on an overview of the history of future studies, of forecast studies, what it's all about, and then looking at predictions that have been made, and then what's to come. I don't know if you can all see this book. There are so many, it's hard to choose just one, but this is Futuring, the exploration of the future. There is a reference to it, a citation, in the MOOC. But this is developed by, or written by Ed Cornish, who is the founder and past director of the World Future Society. I had an opportunity to go to the World Future Society conference this summer, met lots of very interesting people on all different types of topics, from robotics to the military to transhumanism and everything in between. Lots of educators. Several librarians were there, engineers, quite a group. Anyway, Ed Cornish wrote this book. He gives historical perspectives of the field, and he starts off with looking at the great explorers, Magellan and Cabot and Columbus, and that they were futurists, that they took the knowledge and skills that they had with information and they made best guesses of what was out there to plan their voyages. So we are using our skills, our planning techniques to plan our voyage into the future. And I would encourage you to either read Ed Cornish's book or many others that we have listed to get an overview of the history of the discipline. In the 20th century, the formal study of futures was begun, and we'll talk about that as we go. But there are several notable programs that we'll talk about in Module 3. But the same principles are used by futurists today. We're going to talk about how to scan the environment or the global landscape, understanding the different technologies and the issues that are involved with them. Technology is fast-paced. As I said, every time you turn around, there's something new and more impressive that has been developed. And the next thing is always here. Some of the technology companies even promote that the future is here. So how are we going to stay on top of it and understand the issues? Have a methodical process in this MOOC to learn the tech watch or the tech monitoring so that you'll know the publications that are the ones to read and review, the organizations that are important that follow these trends and these issues, and the people, the notable people who are out there. And we're going to be looking at each of these in depth. We're also going to be looking at the planning techniques that futurists use, and we're spending 1 week on thinking like a futurist. This week, we're going to take a look at the past. This is a link, and you'll find it in the MOOC. You don't have to worry about copying it down now. But the World's Fair in 1964 was around before many of you were born. I would say the majority. But look at the predictions that were made, and it's 50 years later to see what has come to pass and what hasn't, what is still a consideration for us. The Pew Research Center, if you're not familiar with it, it's an important mechanism and think tank that produces lots of relevant reports for us. This one was done earlier in the year looking at the United States views of technology in the future. And they surveyed over 1,000 people to come up with lots of different statistics and charts. I put two here. On the one side is the percentage of people who feel that technological changes will lead to a future where people's lives are mostly better or mostly worse. And you can look at this at your leisure. And then they also ask the percentage of adults who feel that the following will or won't happen in the next 50 years. So those are 50-year predictions. There are many more findings that came from this particular study, and there's a link to it for you to look at this week. The Future is Here is a festival put on by the Smithsonian Institution. There's a link to what happened in the 2013 festival and then the one that was last May. Some of the topics that were covered were inside black holes, what would you do with a drone, what's next for mobile phones, and then the Golden Record 2.0. to crowdsource a selfie of human culture so that we can capture what it is we're doing now in 2014, soon to be 2015. And a link to all the other topics that were covered then. And in this month's issue of the Futurist magazine, this is put out by the World Future Society as a magazine of forecasts, trends, and ideas about the future. I would encourage you to take a look at that as well as others that I'll be identifying. But in this particular issue, this MOOC is highlighted in their magazine section or their educational section. The title is The Emerging Future, Technologies, Issues, and Trends, offered as a MOOC and graduate course at San Jose State University School of Information. So we're current, we're relevant, and we're in the World Future Society magazine, their publication, so that others know that we are focusing on this topic and that you are the trendsetters. Other things that we will be looking at, types of things, 2014 Tech Predictions by Tech Magazine, and from the serious and scholarly to people like Dr. Michio Kaku. If you don't know about him, I've got some different reference to him. He is a noted physicist who has popularized many ideas on what the future will hold. He has his official website. You can buy t-shirts. You can buy his books. I have a link to a video interview with Colbert. So the ideas are popularized and they're scholarly and they're relevant. So we will be introducing you to all these different types of resources over the next 6 weeks. This week, homeroom introductions. Join tech crowds. You can join them as you go along. And if there's a crowd that you would like to start that is not there, let us know and we'll be happy to add it. Review the resources in this week's module, and I want to tell you this is just a small sampling of what is to come. This is our shortest list, and it will keep you busy. I guarantee that. Respond to the discussion question. If you respond to the discussion question on the main MOOC, you will be eligible for a badge. And then we encourage you to take that posting and put it into your homeroom to have a more meaningful, smaller discussion. And so this week's question is, do you believe that coming technological and scientific changes will make life better in the future? Why or why not? And get started with our exploration. I look forward